The following is a presentation of the Matt Talk Podcast Network.
The mind of Pat Popolizio is a wondrous thing. And for you Pack Wrestling fans, you'll get to go inside the mind of the Skip each and every episode here on the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast. Now, here's your host, NC State Director of Athletics Digital Communications, Brian Reinhardt.
NC State Wrestling closes out the regular season looking for its second straight ACC Dual Championship. We get to that season-ending road trip up to Virginia Tech and recap a huge road win over rival North Carolina in this episode of the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast. I'm your host, NC State Director of Athletics Digital Communications, Brian Reinhardt. And joining me is the head coach of Wolfpack Wrestling, Pat Popolizio.
Brian, always good to see you here.
Pat, that was my third time reading the intro, and I got it right this time.
Yeah, this is like take 4, I think.
But see, we let the viewers in. We let them know that this isn't all one take sometimes.
Yeah,
so,
I'm glad we cut out what you were saying earlier.
Got a little heated behind the mic here. But, Pat, another exciting week of action. The Wolfpack went on the road last weekend and brought home a 20-14 win at number 13, North Carolina. The 6th straight win for NC State in the series between those two schools. And we have to start talking about that duel win with a little bit of it was a controversial decision by yourself, I would say. In that duel, you went with a dark red dress shirt.
Yeah.
Hard to pull off that look. Not many solid dark color dress shirts in guys' closets. What was the feedback? Success? Mistake?
We had to make a statement. I feel like there's no better place to do that than going in there. And the good news is I saw a lot of red in the stands, so I felt right at home and very comfortable with that red shirt. It's a good look. You're wearing red right now. What are you talking about?
I'm saying a red dress shirt. It's hard to pull off.
Never.
Never? Okay.
No. That goes good with the gray suit.
Would you wear a black dress shirt?
Maybe I will.
Okay.
I got a couple in the closet.
Virginia Tech's doing a black.
Yeah, I couldn't. So I saw that. Yeah, I got to figure out something clever to wear up there.
But over at UNC's Carmichael Arena for that duel, I'm not sure if you thanked anybody, but the Wolfpack bench had a front row seat to a concert. That UNC band, they set up right behind you guys. And by right behind, I mean you could not walk between the drums and the bench seats. I was told that was the first time they set up behind a visitor bench by some of UNC's people. So a little adversity for the Pack there.
Yeah, and I thought our guys did a good job making sure they didn't play a lot of music, so it was good.
And it's true. They didn't get a chance to play that fight song too often. So.
No, that's all right. It was good. I liked it, actually. I think that adds a lot to going into these different competitors and having different setups. I think it's, makes these guys who they are, so it's good for them.
Now, UNC, they don't charge for admission, so they did not provide an attendance number. We challenged Wolfpack Nation to come over and wear red, and wow, they did not disappoint. A couple of guys, even in their post-match interviews, were talking about how great the crowd of NC State support was, and I have to say, I'm very biased, but I say it was a 50-50 crowd. How did you feel about that road support?
It felt good. I mean, I think if you look with history of any time we go in and compete over there, we travel very well, and it's known if you take a picture of that, it's going to look like there's a lot of people wearing red shirts there. So we appreciate the support because it does make a difference.
And part of that crowd, a huge group of NC State wrestlers that were not in action. It seemed a majority of your red shirts and backups, they were all there supporting in the stands, and they came to the locker room afterwards to help celebrate with the guys. Now, in wrestling red shirts, they don't get to travel with the team. They don't get to dress for home duels, so it's a little bit different than other sports. But you can tell they had a lot of fun at that duel. They were really into it, and they got a taste of what a win in this rivalry means.
Yeah, they did, and I was glad that they were there to support us because it goes a long way. Those guys are in the room every day training with us, and we're actually allowed to travel with 15 athletes total for ACC competition. So we took 5 extras, and then the rest drove over there to meet us. So it worked out pretty well.
SID kind of as an athlete, or?
We're going to go with, I think you bring some good administrative skills. So
I've been killing it at the gym lately.
Have you? Your neck looks a little bigger, actually. I think I stumped you.
You did. I was going to come back with a comment, but I didn't. But to the dual action, UNC won that first matchup, but then NC State ran off 5 straight individual wins and 6 of the next 7 overall to take a commanding 20-6 lead and clinch the duel with 2 bouts left. Your thoughts on the dual win?
Yeah, I thought if you look from a week ago where we were at, and the just the intensity and motion that our guys brought to the mat wasn't what we train for, and that's something we addressed as a program, not just as a staff, but I think current leaders in this program as well stepped up, showed some great leadership, and we had a lot of meetings this past week talking about, you know, where we're at as a program and what we're trying to accomplish here. And we did some soul searching, and guys dug deep, and they came out with a lot of energy and fight, and that's really what we're asking for our guys. You know, we know we have a young team right now, and really at the end of the day that we can control our attitude and our fight. You know, sometimes the results might not fall in place what we want, but that's out of our control. And I thought the guys did a really good job of going over there and competing at a very high level.
And for a wrestling team, it's a team score, but individual matches. How important is momentum in a winning streak like 5 in a row that we saw at UNC to get the guys motivated before their individual matchups?
It definitely. I think, you know, that's why dual meets are special, because it can change a lot. You know, you're in a tournament, you get one guy wrestling, and then 2 hours later you might have another guy, you know, if we're at the national tournament or something like that. But you get in a dual meet, it does. I think the intensity stays high, and guys, that excitement rides that wave a little bit. So I think we saw a little bit of that, not just in this past duel, but duels that we've, you know, been a part of the last couple of years. That's what makes dual meets exciting, though.
Now, I said I didn't wrestle as a youth. I was a soccer player. But one thing I noticed every duel, and I just don't have a good answer for, somebody asked me, why do wrestlers just pace back and forth before their bouts? They do a lot of walking back there.
I think it's a good way to channel nerves, get your mind focused, and then it's a way of getting your body warm. Just kind of, more than anything, I think it is just you're pacing because you're focused in on something. You're not even paying attention probably half the times. But everybody's got their routine.
Back when you were in college, was that before they had cassette players, or did you?
We flipped the tape. So if you had a good song, you'd listen to it, then you would flip it over, rewind it, and listen to it again.
If
you had a CD, when the CDs came out, they would skip if you walked too hard. So
they had CDs when you were in college?
Yeah, we had CD, the little portable CD player.
Okay. What do guys listen to now?
Huh?
What do you think? Pandora?
Spotify.
Okay.
Both.
Sponsorship.
Yep, that's next.
We look back now onto Virginia Tech, as our friend of the podcast, Bill Belichick, would say. 4th straight year, the Wolfpack and Hokies are meeting on the final weekend of the regular season. It just so happens this meeting will yet again determine the ACC Dual Championship for the 4th straight season. To start off, NC State and Virginia Tech have had some great battles over recent seasons. The winner has hoisted that regular season trophy after each win. How great is this rivalry, not just in the ACC, but in college wrestling?
It's climbing. I think we got to do our part to make sure we call this a true rivalry, and that's what we're working on right now. But yeah, they've done a phenomenal job when Dresser was there, and Roby's continuing to carry that torch. And those guys wrestle hard, and they've got a lot of really good high-ranked guys. And we know we're in for a battle when we go up there. We know it's a hostile environment. And I know our guys live for these kind of moments, going on the road and being challenged like this mentally and physically. And I think this is what, when you look and you put a year's worth of work into training, these are the kind of events that you really are zoning in on as you train. And you're like, you know, why am I working so hard? What is all this time getting, you know, added into the calendar? And it's like, all right, this is it. This is why. And that's something we're talking about right now when we're training in the preseason, training in the off season. It's so we can be in situations like this weekend.
I thought it was interesting after that UNC win, you talked to the guys in the locker room right away. You said, enjoy the win, but our focus now, Virginia Tech. You talked about that environment.
Yeah.
Is there any way to replicate that in practice?
We do it every day. These guys get annoyed at me for it probably. No, you really can't, but it's the guys that are mentally focused, you know, and go out there and you can block anything out. And I think we've, you know, as our program's grown, we've been in more and more of these environments, and guys are more used to being on the road and being challenged. And, you know, you're going to let some comments get under your skin and affect how you perform, then shame on you. But no, I think our guys are mature enough and experienced enough to go out there and compete at the highest level they need to.
And both NC State and Virginia Tech come in at 3-1 in ACC action. And after the Pacs win in Chapel Hill last weekend, the Tar Heels are also at 3-1. So right now, going into this final weekend, 3-way tie atop the ACC standings. But with an NC State win at Virginia Tech, the Pac would win its 2nd straight ACC dual championship, thanks to owning the tiebreaker over North Carolina with a head-to-head dual victory. And Last year was the first regular season trophy since 2004 here at NC State. How important would it be for this squad to go back-to-back with a win at Virginia Tech?
Yeah, I think it would be positive. Anytime you can win at anything, it doesn't matter what it is we're competing for. That's what we're here for, is to go out and compete at the highest level and win. So, that's our goal going into this. It's our goal when we started the season, is to come out here, win the dual championships, win the ACC championships, and put ourselves in position to place the highest we can at the NCAA tournament and compete higher than what we did last year. So, it's a tough, tall order. We know we're up against a really good team, and we've seen it all year. We've wrestled a lot of really good teams. So I think, when you look back at it, the competitions that we've seen in the past have only prepared us for what lies ahead. So I kind of like the challenge that we have.
Are you the type of coach, do you motivate your squad with facts like that, or do you just let the duels play out?
I think they know where we're at and what's at stake, but no, this isn't. I don't think it changes anything for us. I think we know the main focus is to put as many guys as we can at the national tournament and compete at our best at the ACCs, and this is another duel we need to win and be prepared for and get us better as we close out the last 3 competitions of the year. This is one that's definitely going to make us better. We've seen that in years past. Both teams made adjustments going into the final 2 weeks of the season, and it's shown. And we just got to get in there and wrestle as hard as we possibly can and put ourselves in position to win this duel.
And like the Wolfpack, a lot of Hokies are at the top of the national rankings in their weight class. 6 from Virginia Tech in the top 20. 4 are in the top 10 from 165 straight to 197. And lots of comparisons between these two teams. Virginia Tech is really loaded with talent once again this season.
Yeah, they've shown that. And I think year in and year out, you're going to keep seeing that, and that's what makes some really good duels, and it's making the ACC that much more competitive with where we're at with all these teams in here now.
And it seems like we feature the matchup at 184 each week, but this weight in the ACC is just ridiculous. The ACC has 3 ranked in the top 11, 4 in the top 14 at 184. And, of course, this weekend, another ranked battle is both Nick Reenan and Zach Zavasky are ranked in the top 5. The two, they've gone back and forth all season as the top-ranked guys in the ACC in this weight. And right now, Nick sits at number 3 nationally and Zavasky at number 5. And breaking news, as of this recording, it hasn't been released yet, but Reenan was named ACC Wrestler of the Week for a league best 4th time after his win at UNC. And what a top 5 battle this is going to be.
Well, I'm glad you could give me that off the mic and let me know.
See,
a little warning.
I don't text you these anymore.
Yeah,
I wait to surprise you.
That's good. Wow. Surprised. No, that's good. I think it speaks how he could rebound off of a letdown performance from one week to the other and stepping up and beating a really good competitor, a guy that obviously placed at the NCAA tournament a year ago. And it's another win that Nick has over a guy that has, valuable wins at the NCAA tournament a year ago. And he needs to continue to build confidence in where he's at and know that he can go out there and compete for this national title this year. And again, he's going to get another good test, and it's a totally different style, what we see each week, and that's what's good about all these guys in the ACC. They're all really good at that weight class, but they all have totally different styles, and at the end of the day, it's going to be who implements their style best, and this is another matchup that I'm looking forward to seeing. I think they wrestled last year, early in the year, in a very tight match, and I'd like to see the progress that's been made and get that test under our belt.
Now, we normally talk about ranked versus ranked matchups, but this next weight is one of the many that I think people would consider a swing match that could go a long way in determining the outcome of the duel. At 141, we have redshirt senior Jamel Morris versus true freshman Mitch Moore. We didn't see Jamel in action at UNC, but since he's been inserted in the lineup, he's a perfect 6-0 in duels with 3 ACC wins. Moore was a top 20 national recruit, 16-5 on the year, and both are right on the cusp of being in that top 20. This is a huge matchup for the Team Rice here.
Yeah, I think this is one of those matches that you look at on paper and it could be a big swing match. And it's, I think Morris has been wrestling the best we've seen in his career, and it's no better time for that to go out there and keep doing what he does best, and that's scoring points and really working hard on top. And he can score from any position. And so, it's one of those matches where we know what we got to do and we know what we have to be aware of and go out and just be confident in what we do. And looking forward to seeing this outcome. And it's been a good couple weeks for Morris, so this is going to be another good week of a good test for him.
And the first of 4 straight top 10 Hokie wrestlers are waiting for the Bullard twins, coming at 165 and 174. Last week at UNC, both Bullards came up with huge wins. It's like you shot them out of a cannon. Both had great first periods and just set the tones in their matches to go back-to-back wins. Virginia Tech at 65 has number 8 Lewis, and at 74 has McFadden, a 2-time All-American. Huge matches for the Bullards this weekend.
Yeah, this is a big weekend for both those guys, and nothing but for them to gain going out there and getting a win. And this is what a lot of times you see in an individual's career. All you need is that one big win, and this is an opportunity for them guys to go out there and do that because they're probably both underdogs on paper, but that's the luxury of wrestling, is going out there and compete, and anything can happen. Those guys are, they're dangerous on top, so they can catch guys left and right if they get in the right position. But we know, we're also wrestling guys that are very experienced and talented, so this is one we got to be ready. You got to be physically and mentally ready, and they have been the last couple weeks. And they wrestle like they did, like Friday night. This coming Friday, I think they're going to be in a good spot to go out and compete and find themselves in the driver's seat. And that's the same thing. That's what makes 2 good matches, is having guys that are both at that level competing against each other. And I think that's 2 matches you're going to see just like that.
We expect to see redshirt senior Sean Fowles back at 125 for the second straight weekend, as he scored the decision at UNC for his first duel at that weight since early January. We haven't seen Sean at 125 in back-to-back weeks this season. What do you expect from Sean in this situation, competing in 2 straight weekends here?
I think the more we get in rhythm and sync, the better it is for Sean, and that's what we're going to see this weekend. He's got back down to weight, and he's looking good. I know, knowing him, he's a perfectionist and wants to prove how good he is, and this should be a really good performance from him. It's a guy that, one of our red shirts has seen earlier in the year. So, we know what we're dealing with and what we got to do, and I'm looking forward and happy and excited that Sean will be wrestling for us Friday night.
You maybe hit the cough button?
Yeah.
You can let it out. Cough? No, yeah. No, this is one take.
You didn't bring me any water today.
We don't have any equipment. Yeah. We don't have our sponsor yet. No water. This is rough.
Rough week here.
It's like, hey. I get this question all the time. Why does Sean wear the pants underneath his singlet?
I don't know. He picks a different color every week. Okay. So we'll see what color we'll pull out this coming Friday.
Get a little airbrush on there?
Yeah, we need to.
Okay.
It's branding. He's branding his look.
What must you guys do as a team to come back to Raleigh with that team trophy on the front seat of the bus this year?
Got to show up, compete, and wrestle with confidence. And that's it. Stay relaxed. But, yeah, we're going to have, there's a lot of swing matches, but that's what makes dual meets exciting, is who's going to pick up those swing matches. And we've seen it all year. Some dual meets we've been able to capitalize and work in our favor, and some, we weren't able to do that. And when we are, obviously we come out on top, and that's going to be exactly what's going to be in play on Friday night. They got so many matches they're favored in, so many we are, and there's a couple toss-ups, and let's put it on the line and see who shows up and competes at their best. And I like where we're at mentally and physically right now. It's been one of those years where we talk about we're trying to find our identity, and I think this past Friday, we saw some really good positive things happen with this program and this team, and I think we're going to see the same thing Friday, something we can continue to build on and run this right into the postseason.
Again, NC State will be in road action this Friday night at 7 p.m. up at Virginia Tech. A lot on the line. Admission is free at Castle Coliseum, so it would be great to have a large showing of Wolfpack fans. But if you cannot make it up to Blacksburg, the duel is going to be streamed on ACC Network Extra. And, of course, we're going to be providing live updates on Twitter at PackWrestle. Pat, it's a bus trip. Please tell me you're not letting Donnie pick the movies this time.
We actually just had a staff meeting, and I told him if it's not a documentary, we're not watching it. But I did say Dancing with the Wolves would be all right, because he said he had that one, so it'd be good educational.
He pulled out this movie, Willow. Have you ever seen that?
We can't watch that.
What was that?
No,
I've never seen that before.
Go ahead and bring some movies with you.
Okay. Beetlejuice? That was
no,
okay.
That was, no.
Hot Shots?
No.
A little disgruntled in the movie selection.
Yeah, come on.
Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page. I wasn't allowed to say anything.
No food either for you.
Yeah, I know that. Nope. No. I want to thank everybody for listening today. This is your Pack Mentality Poppins podcast covering all things NC State wrestling. Until next time, Wolfpack wrestling fans, go Pack.
Look forward to seeing everybody out in Blacksburg this Friday.
That's a sign off.
There you go.
Go Pack.
Happens podcast is produced by the Mat Talk Podcast Network. For more wrestling podcasts, go to mattalkonline.com.